What I'm going to do here is give a brief overview of what AtoZ Notebook is, how it works, and how you might benefit from using it. Let me just double click on the AtoZ icon to launch the main window and we'll get started. First off, I should tell you that all the username and password details you see here are fake, so don't waste your time trying to log into a non-existent Facebook account. AtoZ is based on the traditional paper notebook that many of us used to use, and some of us still do use, to store simple data such as names, addresses, phone numbers and such. I originally designed this product 6 years ago, and I've been using a version of it myself ever since. Until very recently, I never fine-tuned it enough to be able to release it for public download. Why did I design it? Because I wanted somewhere simple to store addresses and all the many usernames and passwords that I have for the various websites, forums, e-commerce sites, and email accounts that I use or have used at one point. Yes, there are other password managers out there, but I found them to be very regimented in their approach. Username goes here, password goes there, etc. I've always preferred free-flowing text areas when it comes to storing information, and that's what I did with AtoZ. It's little more than a long document for each letter of the alphabet. Basically, it's what you'd get if you bought a paper notebook in a stationery shop, or a whole collection of paper notebooks. I use it to store simple username and password information for one website, and 20 different pieces of information for another. All my old Yahoo accounts from way back are sitting on the Y page of my website logins notebook, and all my business contacts are in my business phone numbers notebook, waiting to be looked up. All the data is heavily encrypted, and when you first launch AtoZ, you'll be prompted to enter a password. You can change this password at any time, and that single password is used to encrypt all of your notebooks and all of your data, so don't forget it. The screenshot you're seeing now is the main window open on the F page for the notebook website logins. You can see how each entry on the page has its own header and whatever pieces of information are required by the particular site. It could be 2 pieces of information, it could be 20 or 30. There are no length or size restrictions on what you type in. When you're adding a new item to a page, start by clicking the Add Header button on the left, or by using the Ctrl+H shortcut. If you do this, the fonts and indentation for the header and main text of each item adjust automatically as you type. Shortcut keys also exist to jump to each page by letter. Ctrl+Shift+A for the A page, Ctrl+Shift+P for the P page, etc. The notebook navigation area sits at the top of the main window, just above the AtoZ tabs. There are 5 notebooks visible here: website logins, currently open, software licenses, personal address book, business phone number, and old stuff or archives. Clicking on any one of these opens the corresponding notebook. It's that simple. But you're not limited to 5 notebooks. Clicking on the My Notebooks link at the top left opens up a drop-down of all the notebooks that you created. This list is in alphabetical order, unlike the notebook navigation area, which is sorted based on when you last opened a notebook. At the bottom of the drop-down is a menu link that opens the Notebook Manager. This dialog is as simple as it gets and allows you to add, delete or rename your notebooks. When you first launch AtoZ, only one notebook, called First Notebook, will be present, so you'll need to add a few more as you start adding and sorting your information. With all those notebooks and pages, how do you find something that might be misfiled? You open the search box by clicking the search button or using the standard Ctrl+F shortcut key that we're all familiar with, and you start typing. AtoZ's search facility is very simple, but at the same time very powerful. Searching for a word or a phrase produces a list of each page that contains that word or phrase at the bottom of the main window, and clicking on the corresponding letter in the list opens the page and jumps to the first occurrence of the word. The common find shortcut of F3 will jump to successive instances on a page. The AtoZ search doesn't have the usual 12 or 15 options you find in other search boxes, but then hardly anyone ever uses those extra options anyway. There are very few configurable options in AtoZ. Configurable options for most people lead to confusion. Ask 100 people if they want more choices and options, and 99 of them will say yes. Give 100 people more choices and options, and 99 of them will scratch their heads while complaining about how complicated your software is. There are only half a dozen configurable options in AtoZ Notebook, and you can see them by opening the Preferences dialog from the Tools menu. You can decide whether to store your notebooks in your My Documents folder or in your installation folder on a thumb drive. You can decide which fonts to use for item headers and for the main text, and you can check a couple of boxes for minor things that I'm not even going to show you. And that's it as far as options go. If you want more options, then this is the wrong product for you. The last thing I'm going to talk about, and it's one of the most important things, is backups. There is a great big backup button on the left toolbar, and it's there for a reason. Clicking this button will allow you to take a complete backup of all of your notebooks and settings to an external drive or folder. You should do this as often as possible. Although AtoZ does take automatic backups when you do something unusual, such as changing the password or changing the data location, it doesn't take backups at any other time. That's your responsibility. Backups are still encrypted, and they contain all you need if you want to roll back to your AtoZ notebooks from last week or last month or even last year. The Tools menu does contain a few other methods that allow you to extract your data from AtoZ, but the backup option is by far the most important. So, to summarize, AtoZ is a free-flowing, password-protected data manager. What that data might be is up to you. How you arrange it is also up to you, within the AtoZ parameters, of course. A couple of final things. The visual interface is optimized for Windows 7 and Windows Vista. If you're still using XP, or you're using a classic Windows theme on your PC, it's going to look a little old-fashioned and dated. The free edition of AtoZ comes with only a single notebook. If you want to add more notebooks, and to have access to the notebook's navigation area, then you need to purchase a license. The free edition doesn't expire, so you can use it forever without needing to upgrade. If you haven't downloaded the free version yet, you'll find a download link on the download page of atoznotebook.com. And that's it. Have fun and be organized.